Okay, hi everyone, and welcome to the second part of our show. Now, we'll start this second part with one of the most famous and certainly one of the most loved of Shakespeare's tragedies, Romeo and Juliet. Tonight, we will be performing the balcony scene in Act 2, and it will be interpreted by our young actors Eugenio and Stefania, and there will be a brief introduction by Lucia.
Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Juliet is perhaps the best known and best loved of Shakespeare's tragedies. It was first performed in 1597 and has ever since inspired numerous films, operas, and ballets. It tells the story of two very young star-crossed lovers belonging to two rival families in 16th century Verona, the Montagues and the Capulets. They first meet at a ball in Capulet's house and immediately fall in love. We see them here after the ball in the famous balcony scene. Romeo has sneaked into the Capulet orchard and overhears Juliet at her windows, vowing her love to him in spite of her family's hatred of the Montagues. Romeo initially stays quiet, hiding in the dark, but he then yields to his passion and makes himself known to her, and they agree to be married. Let us not dwell on the heart-rending tragedy which we know awaits them, but let us be carried away by the magic of their innocent love and by Shakespeare's sublime poetry. Ladies and gentlemen, Romeo and Juliet.
But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who's already sick and pale with grief that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she's envious. Her vested liver is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. It is my lady, oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses, I will answer it. I am too bold, 'tis not to me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all the heaven, having some business, do entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there, and there in her head? The brightness of her cheek was shame those stars as daylight doth a lamp. Her eyes in heaven would through the airy region stream so bright, that birds would sing and think it were not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon the hand, that I might touch that cheek.
Ay me.
She speaks. Oh, speak again, bright angel.
O Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Deny thy father, and refuse thy name. Or, if thou wilt not be but sworn my love, then I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more, or shall I speak at this?
'Tis by thy name, that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's Montague? It is nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Oh, be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. So Romeo would. Were we not Romeo called retain that dear perfection which he owns without that title? Romeo doff thy name, and for thy name, which is no part of thee, take all myself.
I take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth, I never will be Romeo.
What man art thou that thus be screened at night, so stumblest on my counsel?
By a name I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself, because it is an enemy to thee. Had I it written, I would tear the word.
My ears have yet not drunk 100 words of thy tongue's utterance, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo and a Montague?
Neither, fair maid, if either thee dislike.
How camest thou hither, tell me, and wherefore? The orchard walls are high and hard to climb, and the place death, considering who thou art, if any of my kinsmen find thee here.
With love's like wings did I patch this wall, for stony limit cannot hold love out, and what love can do, that dares love attempt. Therefore thy kinsmen are not let to me.
If they do see thee, they will murder thee.
Alack, there lies more peril in thine eye than 20 other swords. Look thou at sweet, and I am proof against their enmity.
I will not for the world I saw thee here.
I've night's cloak to hide me from their eyes, and but thou love me, let them find me here. My life were better ended by their hate than death prorogued, wanting of thy love.
By whose direction findest thou out of this place?
By love, the first did prompt me to inquire, he let me counsel, and I lent him eyes.
Oh, gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully. I'll prove more true than those that have more cunning to be strange. I should have been more strange, I must confess, but that thou overheard here was where my true love passion. Therefore pardon me, and not impute this yelled into light love which a dark night hath so discovered.
Lady, by yonder blessed moon I swear, that tips with silver all these fruit tree tops.
Oh, swear not by the moon, the inconstant moon, that monthly changes in her circle orb, lest that I love prove likewise variable.
What I show whereby?
Do not swear at all, or if thou wilt, swear by thy gracious self, which is the God of my idolatry, and I'll believe thee.
If my heart still love,
Well, do not swear, although I join thee. I've no joy of this contract tonight. It is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden, too like the lightning which does cease to be, ere one can say it lightens. Sweet, good night. This bud of love by summer's ripening breath might prove a beauteous flower when we next meet. Good night, as sweet repose and rest come to thy heart as that within my breast.
oh, wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have tonight?
The exchange of thy love faithful thou for mine.
I gave thee mine before thou didst request it, and yet I would it were to give again.
Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose? Love?
To be frank and give it thee again, and yet I wish but for the thing I have. My bounty is as boundless as the sea, my love is deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite.
Juliet!
I hear some noise within. Dear love, adieu. Anon, good nurse! Sweet Montague, be true, stay but a little, I will come again.
Oh, blessed night, I am afeard, being in night, all this is but a dream, too flattering sweet to be substantial.
3 words, dear Romeo, and good night indeed.
Madam!
I come, anon, but if thou meanest not well, I do beseech thee.
Madam!
By and by I come. Cease thy strife and leave me to my grief, tomorrow will I send.
So thrive my soul.
1,000 times good night. Romeo,
My dear,
what o'clock tomorrow shall I send to thee?
by the hour of 9,
I will not fail, 'tis 20 years till then. I forgot why I did call thee back.
let me stand here till thou remember it.
I shall forget to have thee still stand here, remembering how I love thy company.
And I still say, to have thee still forget any have a home but this.
'Tis almost morning, I would have thee gone, and yet no farther than a wanton's bird that lets it hop a little from his hand like a poor prisoner in his twisted gyves, and with a silken thread plucks it back again, so loving jealous of his liberty.
I would I were thy bird.
Sweet, so would I, yet I should kill thee, which much cherish. Good night, good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I should say good night till it be morrow.
Sleep well upon thine eyes, peace in thy breast. Would I were sleep in peace, so sweet to rest.
Well, I am without words, really. That was fantastic. Wonderful poetry and magnificent interpretation by our young actors. I am really moved. Well done. A warm round of applause for all the cast. Eugenio, Stefania, and Lucia.
Grazie.
Very good. Okay, our next poem is not far from the theme of secret lovers.